For more stories like these, go to www.social-tv.co.za, subscribe to us on YouTube, and follow us on our social mediums.
You're listening to our social newscast with me, Sam Marshall, brought to you by www.social-tv.co.za. Today we speak to Matthew Barco, who's the head of Channels Africa at Checkpoint Software Technologies, talking to us about the partnership with Coursera to deliver free online courses to help cybersecurity professionals develop their skills. Matthew, just talk to me about what is Checkpoint, the company. I know you're cybersecurity, but I think it's a lot more than that.
Yeah, I mean, Checkpoint is a cybersecurity company and one of the leaders listed on the NASDAQ in America. It's an Israeli-born company, starting off back in the day, 25 odd years ago, inventing the firewall with Gil and Schwepp and a couple of his co-founders. Moving into the new age of cybersecurity, which is beyond, just what we call beyond the perimeter. Yeah, we're there. We're heavily invested across, both on-prem and cloud technologies, as well as looking at not just data centering and perimeter firewalling, but also the endpoint. And combining those technologies to give our customers, a best-of-breed solution that's all incumbent and integrated.
And then you guys go, as a global organization, you then decide to partner with Coursera, who's got about 62 million learners globally, to offer free courses. How did that come about?
I think, during the past couple of months, we've seen an unprecedented event globally, obviously, but, a number of people have just, spent their time online, and you can go and look at, we've got some customers in the gambling arena, how their revenues have gone up. People are doing more and more online, and we've done very well in the cybersecurity space, being around so long, and I think it's it's about time to give back. There is a massive skills shortage globally. Last year, it was estimated over 3 million just alone in the cybersecurity space, and the skills shortage is now estimated at over 4 million. So we can't keep up. We need the skills in the environment, and it is time to give back. We've been lucky enough to partner with companies like Coursera, but we've also done a substantial amount with companies like Udemy, as well as Cybrary, where we're offering similar courses, free of charge. And from an Africa perspective as well, where there's just a huge, massive skills pool, we started to partner with a number of universities as well, offering courses. These universities like Strathmore in Kenya, Chalib Dakal University in Morocco, where we've actually enacted what we call our Cyber Academy, which is really, directed towards tertiary institutions where these young students are learning and doing degrees, but we're now going and giving them practical training and advice and courses related to cybersecurity specifically, which is kind of lacking globally.
Matthew, what does it say about the organization, the fact that you've been able to sign over 100 universities in 40 countries, you've been able to develop a security curriculum for students, and Checkpoint's commitment, but more importantly, to education and training?
Checkpoint has always been about partnering. We've been an indirect business since our inception, which means we work through a channel. We have a number of partners globally. And I think, one thing we can say is that education was the biggest gap. In most companies, similar to ours, it's always a paid-for experience. It costs a lot of money, always dollars-based. And, it says a lot for us that we're just willing to give back. See the skill shortage globally, and we have to. Otherwise we're just going to drive the costs up of engineering globally. Security engineers are some of the highest paid engineers in the world now because of the skill shortage. Yet we have such a talented pool of youngsters out there that are more considering around, the cool stuff, the Facebooks, developing their own applications. Yet all those applications require security. Cybersecurity is cool. We're trying to make it cool again. And, you've got to start by giving back, I think.
With such a massive skills gap and so much opportunity for young people, but also people that are rethinking their careers after the COVID pandemic, why is this one of the best kept secrets? Why don't enough people know about it, Matthew?
That's a very good question, and I'll have to give an opinion. And I think, people aren't aware of the issues around cybersecurity. We only see the big attacks on, companies or the breaches in data. Now, unless it really affects you personally, you're just in that state, well, it's never happened to me. Yet, there's only two types of companies, like those that have been hacked and those who don't know. So, cybersecurity has really, really been focused on the enterprise, and not a lot of people have personally been, targeted. But we're seeing this upscale now, with extortion, with a number of personal attacks around ransomware and to individuals, and it's only going to get stronger and stronger, these attacks. So I think it's a best kept secret because, a lot of people haven't really physically felt the attacks personally on them. But yes, people need to rethink their careers. We want people in universities, we want them getting degrees, but it can't all be about developing the coolest app in the world and becoming the next Mark Zuckerberg. It's got to, there's a massive opportunity just to develop your career in cybersecurity and be a leading expert and an advisor to many of the global companies, out there. It's a massive opportunity and probably, like I say, one of the best paid.
Matthew, educate us quickly. When we look at that skills gap, what are we talking about? I heard you mention engineers. Where are the other gaps?
I mean, the gap is across it. I mean, it's not just from an engineering perspective, from, having conscious workers that know how to technically sell the solutions, to the engineering, to the development of the applications, to even the people that are doing the forensics and the investigations around it. We offer these types of services to market, where we do what we call our incident response team, which does, the intermediates in the attack, intervenes in the attack, does the mediation of the attack, and actually the investigations, which can lead to, court cases and us representing, companies in court. So, the skills gap is across the spectrum, from even down to the people able to train engineers or train staff in cybersecurity. So we can look at it from sales all the way through to consulting, to engineering, to product management, to development, and actually, the cyber criminal side of it, the actual investigation. It's a massive gap.
So how does it work? I'm listening to this interview with Matthew Barker. I'm excited. What do I do next?
What do you do next? Well, if you're based here, you're more than welcome to contact me. My email address is Matthew with 2 T's, @checkpoint.com. We can point you in the right direction. But you can also go visit the site, around Coursera, Udemy, and Cyberry. We also have our own site that is open to the public, checkmate.com. And we can guide you to as much training as you want. It's really open time now. Now, we do have obviously a number of courses are paid for, but we want to really get the basics out there and some of our advanced training for free, not just on what's available on these 3 platforms, but on our own internal platforms, to start educating more people around cloud. The concerns around cloud. Cloud is fantastic. It's out there. But it's just you moving your data centers to someone else's environment where they're only responsible for literally power, cooling, and access. They're not responsible for security. So, there's a huge gap forming there. And some of the biggest attacks in the world recently have been because companies have said, want to go on this cloud journey, which is fantastic, and we've all got to go down it. We're all in it already. But if you don't transition your on-prem data center, your core security with you, you're leaving massive amounts of holes. So get a hold of us. We're here to help. Our partners are out there. We have some local companies like Talk IT that are also heavily invested in 21st Century in Nigeria that are part of our training curriculum, as well as Westcon, and we can just guide you.
There's somebody sitting there and going, I love what Matthew is saying, but what kind of person would be interested in these types of courses?
I think, in a perfect world, it's the individuals who really want to make a contribution to fixing things or protecting. It's about, physical protection. It's about, online protection, but also people that are just keen to succeed. I mean, we're in Africa, and, Africa is part of my remit, and, I'm an African, and I just see the skills shortage. And I think if you want to get into the job market fast, the best way to do it, and if you're interested in IT, is to get into cybersecurity. Simple as that. You want to make a buck, you want to make a difference, this is the way to go. You can develop your career further, from there. But if you have a basis in cybersecurity, your first thought will always be, what are the consequences of what I do, and how can I, mediate against it? And we're here to help.
Matthew, thank you very much for your time.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
That's Matthew Barker, head of Channels Africa at Checkpoint Software Technologies, talking to us about Checkpoint's partnership with Coursera, and they're delivering free online courses helping cybersecurity professionals to develop their skills. So if you want to find out more, you can log on to Checkpoint's platforms and find out about the free courses.